Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Good morning and welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator. One of the rare occasions that I get to do one of these early in the morning before I go to work. I got up a couple hours ago and I was never really able to go back to sleep, so I was like, you know what, I might as well do something productive with my day instead of just laying there in bed trying to go to sleep. So I figure what we're going to do is we're going to sell off a couple of cars that we don't need. We don't need this Corvette now because we still have the super beastly other one. We probably don't need this Legacy B4 either. So might as well at least, you know, clear out the stock a little bit here. There's a couple things that I don't know exactly what I should do with them just yet. So I think I'll hold off for the time being. I'll have to do something with this TT Quattro at some point. I know there's going to be another one of those races coming up along with this, so we'll deal with that when it gets there. But for now, I think we're going to jump into the Corvette, and we're going to go take it over to get an oil change, because I think it might actually need one. Yeah, maybe not. We'll do it anyways. Why the hell not, you know? Needed a little bit, I guess. I mean, nothing that was, like, in dire need, per se, but, you know, at least we can say that we finally did something there and it was useful. So we're gonna jump into the FR challenge. We did the MR challenge last time, and it was a pretty easygoing experience. Kinda. I don't think I should say that it was easy, because it hardly was. We had quite the challenge on Grand Valley Speedway, and then that Deep Forest deal, man. I still can't believe that those dudes pitted out at the very last lap. That is just the weirdest thing to me. So, we did it, and my guess is that we should win this thing, I mean, running away, more or less. I mean, yeah, the tires will be kind of a thing, but I think that the lead that we should have at really any given point here should be so drastic that I don't think that we really have to worry about it, even if my handling starts to suffer. I mean, we've got so much more horsepower than the rest of the field, it's sickening. But I kind of wanted to have a little bit of a relaxing deal. We've had a couple of intense races lately, and so I figured for a morning episode like this, I'd like to, you know, just kind of take it easy, you know, just enjoy the scenery. You know, not have anything that's really going to stress me out, because it's going to be a long-ass day at work anyways. My parents are going to be going to the beach for the weekend, and so we're going to try to cram a whole bunch of you know, ordering and stuff into one day so that they don't have to be here on Friday, which I'm really excited for them, man. My parents are such hard-working people, and they never really get to have, you know, very much time off for themselves where they get to, you know, be away from the stores and not have to, you know, spend their weekends and, you know, and such being in there. Like, they're always there all the time, and so, you know, they had been considering going to the beach for a change. I was like, please do it, you know, you guys never get out, so, you know, let's find a way to get all the ordering and stuff done earlier in the week so that when Friday and Saturday come around, you guys don't have to be here and you guys can actually go out and do that. And so we're gonna definitely get it all done today, and so I'm pretty excited about that. It's just gonna be a very strenuous day as far as that's concerned, because we usually, you know, cram most of that into a 48-hour span. So I'm gonna have to really kick in on some energy drinks and shit today. But what are you gonna do? Anywho, since we're, you know, before, you know, now that we're in the middle of this whole deal, I gotta tell you guys about this fucking dream I had the other night, man. It was so bizarre. I haven't had one in a while that forced me to wake up in a cold sweat. It's been a little bit since I've had one of those, but it was creepy as fuck, man. And I don't even know what really even caused it to happen, but I'll try to recall it to the best of my ability. So here we go. So basically, what was going on is I was in like this really weird kind of like a business. I don't really know what the term for it is, but it was like a little, almost like a business park. It felt like I feel like business park isn't even a fucking term that exists, but it was like this little. It was kind of like this little. I don't know, like, you know, you think of like an industrial park, but it wasn't really like that. It was just like a bunch of like smaller businesses, and it was right by this little, right by this lake. It actually kind of reminded me of this area called Stats Lake in Kaiser, where I grew up, where there's the lake there, and there's just like all these little tiny businesses that are kind of revolving in this general area right around there, but it's not part of, it's not necessarily part of like the regular rest of, you know, the town center or whatever. And so I was in there, and it was kind of like this, you know, rather enlarged version of it, where there's like a gas station, all these other little miniature businesses hanging around and whatnot. And I was driving around through that for some reason, and then all of a sudden I had all of these cars that were like pursuing me, and like they're like really all up in my shit, and like they were getting really aggressive about it. Like eventually I had cars that were like trying to run me off the road like this was some sort of fucking like demolition derby or something. And I finally caught a glimpse of one of these cars, and it was actually one of the bullies from my childhood. It was weird. It was actually one of the, it was like it was an adult version, like a mid-20s version of the very first bully. Sorry, I had to almost sneeze there for a second. It was like an adult version of the very first bully that I ever encountered in my entire life when I was in, I think it was when I was actually in Sunday school. And it was so weird because I recognized that face from a mile away, but I literally haven't seen that guy in in like, I don't know, probably 20 years at least. But it was so weird because I recognized him just clear as day. And he just had like this super fucking like destructive, just eerie, evil face going on. And I saw he had someone in the car with him. I looked over, and it was another bully from my childhood, and it was one from first grade. And I was like, what the fuck, this is weird. And so, you know, I kick my car into gear, and I start trying to, you know, get away from him. And then I encounter 3 more cars, and in all of these other cars, they were literally every single bully I have ever encountered from my entire life, pretty much. And they were all just like fucking ganging up on me, like trying to, you know, destroy my car. And, you know, I could hear them yelling out of their windows like, "We're gonna fucking kill you! We're gonna fucking kill you!" And it was just this like really fucking crazy thing. And it got to a point where they roughed up my car enough that I couldn't drive it anymore. Like, I wasn't physically injured, but I got to this point where I was able to evade them, and I got out of my car, and I started running, and I went into this building. So I was like, I need to get the cops. Like, this is well beyond, you know, what I can actually handle. And so I was like, I need to get the cops involved. And so I ran inside of like this medical supply building that was right nearby. And I ran in, and I was talking to the person at the front desk. I was like, I need your help. I need your help. And she's like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I was like, there's all these people chasing me. They're all bullies from my childhood, and they're really trying to fucking hurt me. And she's like, well, where are they? And as soon as she said, where are they all come busting in. And by busting in, I mean they like all, you know, walked inside of this place, because it had like, you know, those like revolving doors or whatever. And they all walked in, just like really like nonchalant, but in that way that it just, you could feel the tension just building. Like you could have pulled the tension off like pieces of a blueberry muffin, and, you know, like sawed them with one of those crazy, you know, like electric carving knives or whatever. But oh, it was so uncomfortable, and they all just stood right there. And I was like, come on, they're right there, please call the cops. And so I need them away from me. And so she calls, and you know, within like a minute or so, like they were just standing there. That was the weird part. And you know, this squad car shows up, and 3 cops come bursting in the door, and they're like, what's going on? What's going on? It's, you know, which one of you was the one that called? And I was like, it's me. Like, all these guys right here, I need you to take them away. Like, they're threatening to hurt me, and I don't know what to do. And so they're like, is this true? And one of them like kind of does this creepy like angled turn of the head, you know, where it's kind of like, you know, not even center, and they look at him and they're like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? And they're like, well, if that's the case, we're gonna have to, you know, we're gonna have to take you out of here. I can see the car outside. Were you guys involved in destroying his car? And they're like, yeah, it was fucking awesome. And they just have like this really perplexed look on their face, like, all right, guys, you know, you're coming with us. And as soon as they, you know, broke out the handcuffs to try to arrest him, one of the guys like pulled his face off, and he had like this crazy ass fucking demon face. And it was, oh god, it was so weird. He had like this, like a red face, but there was like no skin. It was just like muscle and fucking sinew, and he had like these weird like fiery eyes, and he just like fucking like he like did like the Indiana Jones shit where he just like plunged his hand like into the guy's stomach, almost like he was trying to do like the Agent Smith conversion stab or whatever. And he just like plunged his arm like right into his chest and just fucking killed all three of them in one smooth move. And I was just like, what the fuck? And the lady at the desk, her fucking jaw was just agape on the floor, and so she like nervously grabbed the phone and called 911. Was like, we need more people. Like we like, this is a dire situation. We need like everybody that you've got. She's like, well, they're like, didn't you just call in some people just like a couple minutes ago? She's like, yes, but they're all dead. And so, you know, you could hear the person on the other line like frantically, you know, calling like an APB for this area. And again, all these all the bullies are still just fucking standing there, like just awkwardly looking at me, like, you know, half of their heads just kind of awkwardly slanted just enough to where they're not standing naturally at all. And they're just looking at me. And, like, they're not saying anything. Like, I had no idea what they wanted. They just, like, weren't speaking. And so, all of a sudden, this big group of officers come in, and they've got their guns drawn now. And they're like, all right, enough of this. You know, we're gonna fucking take you out of here. And, you know, and that's, you know, you're not gonna harm anybody anymore. And then, as soon as they say that, like, all of the rest of them all pulled their faces off, and they all had just these crazy fucking demon heads, just like the other guy, but they were all slightly different, and they had like these, you know, sharp, pointy-ass fucking teeth, and all of a sudden just these deep, horrible voices, and they're like, we're not gonna have any more of this. We came for one purpose, and it's him. And they all pointed at me, and they just went and fucking killed all of the rest of the cops, just in this crazy, inhumanly fast manner. And as soon as I saw them, you know, lunging at him that way, I was like, this is my one opportunity. I've got to run. And I just, like, bolted through the back room of whatever building this was. And none of them saw me, I don't think. And I just started running as quickly as I could, just, you know, throwing shit down in my wake, and just, like, trying to create any type of obstacle for these fucking things. As, you know, as I was soon to find out that they, you know, after they went and killed all the rest of the cops, they all turned their attention and started chasing after me. And so I'm like running through this, you know, weird little business park area, just trying to find any which way that I could get away from them. And I got outside through the back door, you know, going through like this back alley, running towards the lake. And as I'm running, you know, I had slammed the door behind me, and they all just blew the door open with just complete and total ease, and they're all barreling down this alleyway at me. And I was just like, oh my god. And, like, the only thing I can think of is, like, maybe if I go and dive into the water, like, maybe they won't follow me. Like, maybe it'll be like a Signs kind of thing, and maybe they're afraid of water, even though those were aliens and not demon people from my childhood, apparently. And so I went, and I was just getting like this, like the best running start that I could, and I just did like a full out, like fully extended, you know, just horizontal dive, trying to get to the water, and I was like maybe like 6 inches away from getting into the water and being able to evade him, and all of a sudden I felt just like this freaking cold ass, like, just like this super, like, tense grab on my right ankle. And it was one of them, and they grabbed me with all the momentum that I had. They grabbed my ankle and stopped me just cold in my tracks in midair, and they just held me suspended that way. And all the rest of them were like levitating above the ground, and they walked around to where I was at. You know, as I'm suspended in midair with one of them holding on to my leg, they all just walked around in front of me, and they just like fucking stared me square in the face and just started laughing at me in this inhumanly cold, evil laugh, just like this. Kind of thing. And then, like, they all fucking lunged at me, and that's when I woke up, just in this fucking cold ass, just, oh god, this just cold sweat where I just woke, I woke up and I had to, like, sit up in my bed. Because I just, like, I couldn't even handle the weight of the situation. I was just like, what the fuck was that? Like, what the hell did I eat, or what was I watching that just created this nightmare-scape in my own brain? Like, that was one of the most demented dreams that I've had in a long, long time. But it was so horribly uncomfortable that I definitely couldn't go back to sleep after that. I mean, it wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening at all. Whew, boy. Ugh. Kind of got my heart racing a little bit even talking about that. But yeah, dude, that was what it was. It was weird as shit. And so, needless to say, that the rest of that day, I mean, I was already kind of set up for failure. I did not do well for the rest of that day. I was just so tired because I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning and I couldn't go back to sleep, and oh man, it was definitely, it was in no way, shape, or form what I wanted to have to deal with, and I couldn't shake it for, oh, I don't know, probably at least like 3/4 of the day until, you know, later on, after talking to my fiance for a while, I was finally able to kind of slowly calm down off of it. But ay. Totally not the jam at all. But on the plus side, we're moving along quite nicely here. Sorry, I got like some dead skin on my lower lip that I was trying to bite off. So we're in pretty good shape here. We're on the last lap, and surprisingly, our tires are holding up way better than they were for our what was it, the RUF, what is it, 3400S, I think it was. For being a rear-wheel drive car too, I figured that this car would have had a much harder time, you know, keeping the integrity of the tires intact. I thought it would have been something where these would have been wearing out a lot quicker, but we're hanging in there, so it's all good. And hopefully, by getting these 2 wins, maybe it'll have been enough to boost our win percentage up to 86. I'm not gonna, you know, hold too much stock in that, because I feel like that the game is really holding out hard on giving me that satisfaction of finally being able to have jumped into that new bracket. But we'll see what happens. I'm actually kind of surprised that, with as overpowered as this car is, that we only won by, you know, less than 3 seconds. That's actually kind of astonishing to me. I figured, you know, we would have probably won by closer to, I don't know, probably 10. Because you think about it, we probably have maybe at least like 300 horsepower more than the other cars that we're driving against. At least that's what my guess is. Did we get it? Ah, damn it. Hey, look at that. 15 and 34. We're 115 out of 134. My 2 favorite numbers. Cool. I like that. 32% done with the game. Not too shabby, my friends. Alright, well, you know what? It's 10:14 right now. I still have to go jump in the shower and then get this thing thrown onto my hard drive so that I can edit it at work and upload it from there. So until then, my friends, when we come back next time, we're going to finish off the FR challenge and then maybe start the front-wheel drive challenge. Or maybe the four-wheel drive challenge. I don't know. There's, you know, a couple different ones to choose from. So until then, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza, saying thank you guys for watching and listening to that extremely weird experience, and yeah, we'll maybe have something a little more chipper to talk about next time. But until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.